Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're going to go over everything you need to know about AMC stock here in this video. We're talking earnings, we're talking the data, we're talking the markets, what's going on today, and what to expect for tomorrow, including some very important economic data. Now, I want to start this video with a banger. This article from The Street says AMC stock investors are bullish ahead of Q4 earnings. Despite Wall Street's pessimism around AMC, the stock's options chain suggests that investors are expecting a post-earnings run-up. AMC will announce earnings coming tomorrow, February 28th, in after hours. Wall Street has only modest expectations for Q4 earnings, but a surge in out-of-the-money call options suggests traders are feeling optimistic about the stock. Says market expectations for this quarter are modest due to the unimpressive box office performance compared to the same period last year. Movie ticket sales remained below pre-pandemic levels. In Q4, the domestic box office saw a cumulative gross of $1.857 billion, representing a slight increase of just under 4% compared to the year-ago quarter. Throughout 2023, AMC implemented a capital allocation strategy that included paying down debt, issuing equity, and optimizing the company's cost structure. Despite these efforts, the Wall Street consensus expects AMC to report a loss per share of 62 cents. That would represent an upside of 49% compared to Q4 2022. However, with moviegoer demand and a slate of new films still falling short of pre-pandemic levels, revenue expectations are forecast to come in at $1.03 billion. That would represent a less than 4% increase compared to last year. Here's the juicy part. The AMC stock option chain reflects bullishness. Wall Street's expectations for AMC's Q4 earnings, as well as those for Q1, are modest. However, looking at AMC's options chains can lead investors to a different conclusion. For options contracts expiring on March 1st, the highest volumes of calls have been out-of-the-money strike prices of $5 and $4.50, respectively. Conversely, on the put side, there's a higher volume of out-the-money put options at $4 per share, albeit with lower volumes compared to calls. Analyzing the AMC option chain, it's evident that there's significant activity in the out-the-money call options, particularly at strike prices higher than the current share price. This can indicate optimism among investors who are speculating that AMC share price will rise above these levels. However, it's important to recognize that the analysis represents just one aspect of a broader picture. Is AMC stock a buy ahead of earnings? It's worth remembering that the market momentum concerning AMC has been one of extreme pessimism. The stock's negative short, medium, and long-term moving averages show there's significant weakness in the price of the stock. However, alternatively, they could also indicate a potential price reversal trend in the event of a specific market event or good news about the company. And that's important because if we get good news, boom, baby, we're not priced for that, okay? It's all about expectations. Expectations in AMC are that the freaking roof is collapsing, the box office sucks, more dilution's coming. In the event that we get not as bad fundamental numbers, in the event that we do get, maybe a commitment to not diluting shareholders, AMC stock could go parabolic on that news because nobody's expecting it. Now, this article says it's possible that market participants who expect optimistic results for Q4 could be the catalyst for this reversal. Remarks from AMC CEO Adam Aron could also influence a reversal in AMC's downward trajectory. He has hinted that he will provide some clarity on the company's recent share price performance during the earnings call. But let me tell you, if Adam Aron gets on the earnings call and he just blames this or blames that for AMC stock, and he does not acknowledge it is AMC's fault that AMC issuing a ton of shares has been the reason for AMC falling, we're going to have a problem. If Adam Aron does not say along the lines of, we're not going to dilute shareholders for the next 6 months, we're also going to have a problem. And AMC stock is most likely going to fall. Anything besides a commitment not to lose shareholders, I think AMC is going to fall. That's just my personal opinion. Could I be wrong? Of course. Good news is the stock is priced for really bad news already. So, if we get bad news, bad bad numbers, it's not going to come to markets as a huge shocker. Now, tomorrow morning, we will have some data coming out as well that will be very important. Just like the durable goods order number that we got today, it was really, really negative, really bad, just overall bad number. Tomorrow morning, we're going to get the GDP growth rate quarter over quarter, the second estimate for Q4. Now, last number that we got was 4.9%. This number is expected to be revised down to 3.3%. If that is revised down further than 3.3%, or lower than 3.3%, like 2.5% or 2%, then that's really going to push back on the Fed's higher for longer and say the Fed should be cutting rates sooner. And I would expect that would continue to be bullish for a stock like AMC, for your small cap stocks, your interest rate sensitive stocks. And I don't know if that's going to happen necessarily, but if it does happen, that's going to be great news for AMC nonetheless. So go ahead and keep that in mind. I don't know what's going to happen, but I expect it's going to move the markets quite big. Tomorrow as well at noon, right on noon, you will have Fed Bostic that will speak. At 12:15, you'll have Fed Collins, and 12:45, you will have Fed Williams that will be speaking. So 3 Fed speakers following the GDP data. You know, they're probably going to talk about the GDP data and you know, maybe move the markets. So something to be watching for, but that GDP number is definitely going to move the markets around quite a bit. You do have a short interest percentage of free float at 12.27%, which is you know, where it was earlier. It's not going to move around much. You have $136.77 million worth of short positions currently in AMC. Days to cover 1.86. 30.74 million shares that are currently sold short. Shares out on loan, 32.97 million. Cost to borrow, 1.03%. Utilization of 50.46%. And a short score of 64.31 out of 100. So decent numbers over here, but nothing too crazy. If we take a look at option activity today from hedge funds and institutions, still 2 orders totaling $23,000 with a positive order value of 48%. Volume today to the call side is 82%. Volume to the put side of 17.8%. So there's over 5 times as many calls being bought today than puts. People are definitely positioning for an upside move following AMC earnings. And you're definitely starting to see the option activity, the option chain overall start to increase. You got about 12,000 calls currently in the money. Out the money calls at about 58,000. In the money puts at 4,500. Out the money puts at about 23,000. So definitely some option activity starting to populate here for the weekly options. It does seem like a lot of people may be going further out though to the March 15th expiration to play AMC earnings as well. You have 214,000 calls out the money for that expiration and about 5,500 calls currently in the money. 27,000 puts in the money and 102,000 puts that are out the money for that March 15th expiration. So definitely a lot of activity here over the next couple of weeks in AMC. So we'll have to see, you know, if we get a positive reaction in AMC earnings, if we get a commitment not to dilute shareholders anymore, I think AMC stock will run, and it will run a lot. I mean, you do not want to bet against an AMC. It gives you a commitment not to dilute shareholders. That would be a losing bet in my personal opinion. Now, 10-year Treasury yields are down about 1 basis point today, but that's honestly surprising, just given, you know, that bad data that we got today. You do see the Russell 2000 continuing to be the big outperformer today. The Russell is up 1.2%, NASDAQ down 0.05%, S&P down 0.11%, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 0.39%. So a little red across the board for your major indexes. Your Russell, though, definitely the outperformer, up over 1% today. Can't complain with that at all if you are invested in AMC. AMC stock is up 4.5%, currently at $4.64 per share. The RSI is at 51.4, so basically neutral. And your MACD line still really negative, but trending in the right direction. If that thing does go positive, you could get more kind of algorithmic trading activity heading into AMC stock. So there is that. Now, based on tomorrow's economic data, that's going to give markets quite a big move, in my personal opinion. That GDP number is really your kind of recession benchmark, if you will. I mean, because if GDP falls more than expected, you could be entering into a recession quicker than expected, especially following those durable goods orders numbers that we got today, like negative 6.1% after last month's negative 0.3%. That is rough. That is super, super rough. Now, the percent of stocks above their 50-day moving average is continuing to rise throughout the day today. About 3% of stocks broke above their 50-day moving average today, when they were not above that yesterday. So definitely a bit of good news there. Market's starting to widen out a little bit. The breadth is starting to increase. And now you have 54.3% of stocks above their 50-day moving average. And if we do actually see a broadening out of our markets, you could have quite a bit of room to run here with your small and mid cap stocks. But again, I think it really just depends how the data comes out, and if we do indeed, get the right events happening out there. If the data is just bad, but not too bad, that's probably good for small caps. If the data starts to look like we're definitely heading into a recession, well, that's not good for it's not good for anything, really. I mean, take a look at 2022. What happened in 2022? That was all just based on fears that we're heading into recession, let alone the data actually showing that we are heading into one. And today's data report was pretty recessionary. I'm not going to lie to you guys. So thank you for watching. That is going to do it for this video. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.